everyone, it's your girl Shauna J. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I so appreciate you being here. Today I have a lovely haul video for you guys. All these fragrances are super cheap slash affordable. Of course, I went out looking for the best deals I could find. So I did find these fragrances in TJ Maxx, Burlington, Zara, Victoria's Secret. So I've been all over the place shopping for fragrances. Now, if you don't have access to the stores that I mentioned, or if you just don't want to go in person to find these fragrances, then of course check my description box because I'm gonna link all of them below so you could jump in and have some fun with the rest of us. I'm not gonna leave anyone out. So that's that for this intro. Anyway guys, let's jump right into these fragrances. So the very first fragrance that we're gonna start out with is a fragrance that I had no idea even existed. I've never smelled this fragrance, never seen it, never heard anyone talk about it, nothing. So when I walked into Burlington a couple of days ago and I saw this one just sitting there looking all pretty, I was like genuinely surprised, but I was very happy. I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. Now the fragrance that I'm talking about here is called Blush for Her, and it's by Kenneth Cole. Now let me know if you guys know about this perfume. I've never heard about this one. Now while doing my research, I did learn that this one came out in 2021, so it did come out last year. Not really sure how I missed this launch. Now I do have the set here and I paid $24.99 for it. It does have the 4.2 fluid ounce body mist. Here we have the 1 ounce EDP, and here we do have like a travel size. So it's a very nice set. Now let me get into the details, or let me get into some facts about Blush by Kenneth Cole. Now this is a floral fruity gourmand fragrance. It opens up with top notes of sugar, orange, raspberry, and pear blossom. In the heart we have peony, jasmine, and tuberose, and in the base we have vanilla, patchouli, and white musk. Let's start out with the categorization that we have here. Now, according to Fragrantica, this is a floral fruity gourmand fragrance. Now, I'm not sure I agree with that categorization. I'm not really getting the gourmand aspect. Is it a little sweet? Yes, but I don't think it's enough to call this a gourmand scent by any means. To me, this feels more like a floral fruity fragrance. That's basically what I get when I smell this fragrance and when I wear this fragrance. I'm gonna spray it out just to remind myself of what it smells like. The most dominant notes that I get from this fragrance are the raspberry, the peony, and the patchouli, and of course I get a little bit of musk in the dry down. It does open up very fruity and tart and mildly sweet, so of course that's coming in from the raspberry. Now underneath that fruity, tart, slightly sweet raspberry note, we do have the peony, which gives off a mild pink floral type scent. Now, underneath that I am detecting the patchouli. Surprisingly, I'm not having an issue with the patchouli because the patchouli here is not earthy. It's not doing too much. It's more of a fresh green patchouli. So there's a green aspect to this fragrance. Now, am I a fan of Blush by Kenneth Cole? You know, I'm not a big fan of this scent, and let me tell you why. The raspberry is pulling very tart, it's very sour here, and I'm starting to realize that I don't like that. I don't like my fruits to be too sour, and here the raspberry is pulling a little bit too sour. Kind of overwhelming the peony and all the other florals here. So the florals aren't really getting much of a chance to shine as much as I would like them to shine, but that's just my preference. The base, I think, could have been a little bit sweeter, especially if you're gonna call this a fruity floral gourmand scent, but there's no sweetness to be detected in the base. Maybe in the opening you do get a little bit of that sugary raspberry, but certainly in the dry down I'm not getting it. Surprisingly, the performance is not bad. I had stopped counting after the 6-hour mark, but I remember it getting to that 6-hour mark. So I think for the price, you really can't lose. Now this fragrance does wear more like a summery, springtime type fragrance because, you know, it's so floral, it's so fruity, it feels airy, it feels very fun, it feels very girly. So when I smell this fragrance, I think warm weather. It's that kind of fragrance. I think I need to wear it just a little bit more, but that's my opinion on this fragrance thus far. This is Blush by Kenneth Cole. The next fragrance that we have here is by the brand Azzaro, and this one is called Wanted Girl Tonic. Now, if you follow my channel, you probably remember that I did a little haul where we spoke about the original Wanted Girl fragrance. I was not a big fan of that fragrance. I promptly returned it to Macy's. Now, the other day I went into Burlington and I saw this fragrance for 20 bucks, and I was like, oh my God, do I really want to do this again? Am I going to do this again? But I looked at the notes and I was convinced that I have to purchase this one because the notes that we have here are just so interesting. Now, I'm going to remove the fragrance itself so you guys could check the bottle out. This is basically what it looks like. It kind of looks like, well, it does look like the original Wanted Girl fragrance with the exception of the color of the liquid. The original Wanted Girl had like a gold color. Here we have more of a violet color. This fragrance is a floral fruity fragrance. It launched back in 2020. It opens up with notes of kiwi and ginger. In the heart we have acai berry and datura. And in the base, we have bamboo and tonka bean. These notes sound so good. These are notes that you typically don't find in fragrances. So when I saw these notes, I was like, oh my God, I definitely have to try it. These sound beautiful. Now I'm gonna spray this fragrance out just to remind myself of what it smells like. It has a very good atomizer. Like, I like the way that sprays out. As soon as I spray the fragrance out, I'm getting something fruity and tart and even a little bit watery. So I'm getting like a watery fruitiness that's more on the tart side. I'm not really getting anything sweet. So this fragrance is void of anything sweet. So I could imagine that what I'm getting here at this point is the kiwi. There's also something green, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume that that's coming in from the bamboo. Now, bamboo is a note that I really love in fragrances. Unfortunately, bamboo is so underused in fragrances. So whenever I see a fragrance with a bamboo note, I'm always praying that I'm able to pick it up, like actually smell it. And here I'm smelling it. Yes, I'm getting the ginger. It's giving a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a spiciness, which I actually do like. I would say that this is more suitable for warm weather because it has that clean, fresh, watery, tart, fruity type scent with a little bit of a musky green undertone. So I would say that this is a fragrance I will probably reach for when it's a little bit warm outside. The performance is not that good. The couple of times that I've worn this fragrance, I noticed that after the 3-hour mark, I don't remember that I'm wearing it. So it's not the longest lasting fragrance, you know, but I'm still testing out these perfumes. So of course, as time goes on, we'll talk about these fragrances some more. I like this. I think it's okay. So this is Wanted Girl Tonic by Azzaro. The next fragrance that we have here is from the house of Coach, and this one is called Legacy, and this is in EDP concentration. Now, I had stopped buying fragrances from the house of Coach because I kind of felt like, I don't know, the fragrances within this house became a little bit too generic for me. So I had stopped paying attention to the fragrances from this house. Now, when I saw this one in Burlington, I decided that, you know what, let me just do a little bit of investigation to see, you know, what it's really given. Now, when I looked at the notes, I was like, wow, the notes sound really good, and it didn't sound like something that was gonna be generic. So let me read you guys the notes. Well, first of all, Legacy by Coach is an amber floral fragrance, and it was launched back in 2008. It has notes of honeysuckle, floral notes, woodsy notes, amber, orange, and vanilla. So when I heard the combination of notes, I was like, oh man, I gotta try this out. It sounds really good. Now, as soon as I opened this up and I sprayed it out, I was like so impressed. I was like, wow, this is a really nice scent. This is what the bottle looks like. So it pretty much looks like the original signature Coach perfume. They have like the same bottle, with the exception of the fact that there's like a little like name tag around the neck. So I find that to be very cute. The original signature Coach fragrance is a fragrance that I really like. I think it's more of a clean, fresh jasmine type scent. So I was very curious to know if they had anything in common, which they completely don't. This is a completely different scent. The opening of this fragrance gets me every single time. I mean, the opening here is just so beautiful. What I'm getting here is perhaps a combination of the orange and the amber. So I'm getting something fruity. There's something a bit citric, but there's also something sugary and sweet here. There's something so unique in here. The fruitiness here is not juvenile. This is like a grown woman type scent, but it's certainly not too mature or anything like that. As the fragrance dries down, it does kind of start to remind me of a fragrance that I have in my collection, which is Orchid by Perry Ellis. It starts to take on that deep berry type scent with some woods, a little bit of greenness. I mean, it's just so beautiful. I really like this one. I've been wearing it back to back. It is very special to me. I've been thinking about going back to get it back up, but I'm like, nah, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I'm trying to not do that, but it is such a beautiful fragrance. The performance on this one is really good. It's the kind of fragrance that will carry you throughout the whole day. So I do like that. That's all I have for now. This is Coach Legacy. So the next fragrance that I have here is from the house of Kate Spade, and this one is called In Full Bloom Blush. Now, I do have the original In Full Bloom fragrance, so when I saw this one, I snatched it up because I do love the original In Full Bloom fragrance. It's probably my favorite fragrance from the house of Kate Spade. So when I saw this flanker, I was like, oh my god, definitely want to try it out, and I really did have very high hopes for it. This is basically what the bottle looks like. So it does look quite similar to the original In Full Bloom fragrance. Now I'm gonna give you guys some information on this fragrance as always. In Full Bloom Blush is a floral fruity fragrance. It launched back in 2019. It opens up with notes of lemon, green tea, and red fruits. In the heart we have rose petals, peony, and lotus, and in the base we have whitewoods, peach, cedar, and musk. So I'm gonna spray this fragrance out just so I could remind myself of what it smells like. Okay, so the dominant note that I get from this fragrance is most definitely rose. Now underneath the rose, I'm getting something quite citric and airy. So the rose here is not stuffy. It's very airy, but it's also very prominent. This is giving me a very modern rose with a bit of a citric undertone and a bit of wooziness. There's a slight synthetic vibe to this fragrance. I do notice that most rose fragrances tend to have that synthetic tinge, but it's really not bad. I'm just saying it because I do detect it. Now the vibe that I'm getting from this fragrance is the same vibe that I do get from Nirvana White by Elizabeth and James. Even though we have lilies here, we have rose here, they do feel the same. They do give off the same vibe. So if you like this fragrance, I'm pretty sure you like this fragrance because they do give off the same type of vibe. The performance on this fragrance is quite impressive. The very first time I sprayed it out, I sprayed it right here in the crook of my elbow, and I kept getting whiffs of it all day. So the performance is really good, which is definitely a plus. I really like this one. I mean, Kate Spade almost never disappoints. Like, it's one of my favorite fragrance houses, okay? So this is no exception. I really like this fragrance. This is In Full Bloom Blush, and of course this is from the house of Kate Spade. So the next fragrance that I have is from the house of Klein. And yes, this is yet another Eternity Summer flanker. It's getting super hard to keep up with these flankers. I have so many of them in my collection. If you would like to see my Eternity flanker collection, let me know. I'd be happy to share it with you guys. But I have a couple, and if you guys want to see them, I'd be happy to show them off. Okay guys, so anyway, after doing a bit of research, it appears that I do have the 2020 summer version. Now let me take it out of the box so you guys can see what it looks like. This is what the bottle looks like. Now I love the bottle, and that's the thing. I love all these Eternity bottles. I think they have a very simple look, very minimalistic, but they do have a little classy feel and touch. I like the fact that the bottle is so heavy. It's just so pretty. I mean, they always get me, which is probably why I have so many of these flankers in my collection. I mean, the fact that they're inexpensive is another reason why I do have so many in my collection. I do like Calvin Klein fragrances. But anyway, Let me just give you guys some information on this fragrance. So Eternity Summer 2020 is a floral fragrance. It was launched in 2020. It opens up with notes of violet leaf, rose, and bergamot. In the heart we have ginger, coconut nectar, and jasmine sambac. And in the base we have musk, guaiacol, and vetiver. I'm so sorry about the noise outside. It's after 2, so school is out and the school buses are going crazy. But anyway guys, so those are the notes. Now I was expecting this fragrance to be a little bit more special, if I'm being honest. There's really not much to this fragrance. I'm not really getting much of the notes that I'm seeing here either. When I sprayed this fragrance out for the first time, I was very disappointed because I felt like, you know, it didn't stand apart from the other flankers. I would say that this feels the most generic to me. Like, it's just not giving me anything special. So if you're looking for something that's very lightweight, something very fresh, something that has a very citric feel to it, something watery with a little bit of a green touch and some woodiness, you would definitely like this fragrance. So I would say that the bergamot definitely stands out here. It does smell a little bit like oranges sometimes, or it could just be the orange bottle that's tricking my brain. And of course, that green floral touch that I'm getting is most likely from the violet leaf. So it's not a very unique, complex fragrance. So that's basically what I'm getting from this fragrance. Now, the performance on this one is very good. After wearing this one for like a couple of hours, I could definitely smell like this slightly animalic musk coming off my skin, and it lingered for hours. That's basically what I get from this fragrance. Citrusy, watery, a little bit green, a little bit woodsy, and musky. So yeah, that's all I have for Eternity Summer 2020. The next fragrance that we have here is from the house of Coach, and this one is called Poppy Crush. I bought this one in TJ Maxx and I paid $29.99 for it. First of all, let me say this. I think I overpaid for this perfume big time, okay? Coach, 30 bucks, TJ Maxx, no. So I definitely think I overpaid for this fragrance. The other thing is I can't find anything on this fragrance for some reason. Poppy Crush. I'm gonna try to put this into Google and see what happens. Nothing really comes up when I Google this perfume, except for some listings that I see here on Mercari and on eBay. But I'm not able to get any real information on this fragrance. So I'm just gonna spray it out and tell you guys what I get. So I'm not gonna be able to give you guys the official notes or anything like that. But I should be able to manage by just smelling it, right? So right off the bat, I'm getting like a very fruity type of scent, coming off a bit generic. The fruits here smells mainly like red fruits. They're a little bit sweet and a little bit tart. I do get some florals here, maybe a little bit of greenness as well. And there's definitely some sort of spiciness. It feels very generic. This is a prime example of why I had stopped buying Coach perfumes. This is just like some generic fruits, you know, they're a little bit tart, a little sweet. You're getting some citruses, some white florals with a tinge of greenness and some muskiness. Nothing special. It's very disappointing. I mean, it's just a shame because while I was in TJ Maxx, I did try to look at the notes and everything like that, but it just wasn't coming up in the database, which is how I ended up here. But anyway, guys, this is Poppy Crush by Coach. The next fragrance that I have here is Woman Cherry, and this one is by Zara. Now, I went into Zara recently and I noticed that they do have a couple of fragrances within this line. One had a marshmallow note and the other one said something about lollipop. I'm gonna put them here so you guys could see them. Now, I checked all of them. The only one that I purchased was the Woman Cherry because to me it had the best scent. Unfortunately, I did not like the marshmallow scented one because it just wasn't giving marshmallow. Everybody likes that fragrance except for me. When I read the reviews or when I look at the reviews online, you know, trying to convince myself that I would like it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't purchase it because I didn't like it. It literally smells nothing like marshmallows to me. Maybe I'm just gonna go back and see if I could test it again, but I've tested it quite a couple of times while I was in Zara, and every single time I went in there and I tried it, I just didn't like it. So like I said, this is the only one that I thought was worth purchasing. So this is what the bottle looks like. I'm gonna spray it out. I like that. So let's look at the notes for this perfume. Woman Cherry is an amber vanilla fragrance. It opens up with notes of mandarin orange, cherry, and pear. In the heart, we have tiare flower, sour cherry blossom, and peony. And in the base, we have black vanilla husk and praline. Woman Cherry does feel a bit juvenile to me. You know, when I first experienced this, I was like, oh my god, this smells like something that I would have worn like years ago. But I still really like to wear fragrances like this when I'm in the mood to smell, you know, just carefree and, you know, youthful and flirty, because that's the vibe that I get from this one. The cherry here is not really a natural or organic cherry. It's more of a candy cherry, like a cherry flavored candy. That's the kind of cherry note that I'm getting here. And under that, I am getting the cherry blossom. So there's also a slight floral touch within the fragrance, which I completely like. If you're looking for something that's super fun, if you like cherry, if you like cherry blossom, you will like this fragrance, not to be taken too seriously. You know, while wearing this fragrance, I also realized that it wasn't as short-lived as I thought it was gonna be. I would say I got like 5 hours out of this scent, which is not bad for a little cheap fragrance from Zara. Yeah, I really do like this one. This is a Woman Cherry by Zara. I did pick up some more fragrances from Zara, but I'm not gonna overwhelm you guys and show them to you today. I am gonna include them in another video though, so make sure that if you're not subscribed to the channel, you are subscribed. I just didn't want to give you guys too much and overwhelm you or bore you guys. Okay, but the next fragrance that I have here is from Victoria's Secret, and this one is their Bare Vanilla fragrance. Now, I would say that this is currently the best vanilla fragrance that you could find in a fragrance mist. Like, it is so good. It is just so delicious. I went into Victoria's Secret, and you know, for some reason I decided that I was gonna try it out, but I wasn't really optimistic, only because I do have other variations of the Bare Vanilla scent, and I'm not really crazy about them, but I've never really tried the original. Or I have tried it, but there's something weird about vanilla. Sometimes in order to get the real feel of vanilla, you have to step away, you have to walk outside. So if you're in a store and you try on a vanilla fragrance, especially a vanilla like this that's so sweet and airy, you may not be able to detect it while you're in the store. It's when you leave, that's when you're gonna smell it. And that's exactly what happened to me with this fragrance. Sprayed it out and didn't think much of it, left the store, went into another store to shop, and I couldn't stop smelling myself. At first, I had no idea it was me. I just was detecting this beautiful, sweet, sugary, airy vanilla, and my husband kept saying it too. He was like, who's that smelling like sweet vanilla? And I was like, you smell that? I was like, I think it's me. I was like, I think it's me, because I just came out of Victoria's Secret and I said, I think it's me. It is so airy. I can't smell it on me. I just could smell it in the air. It's so weird. But this is probably the best vanilla that I currently have in my collection. It smells so sugary, so good. It's just, it smells so good. It smells so freaking good. It kind of reminds me of their original Vanilla Lace fragrance, but this is a little bit sweeter and more sugary. It's so good. If you love vanilla, this is one to definitely try out. Let me know if you have Bare Vanilla. And if you don't, if you like vanilla, you're missing out. Let me tell you right now, check this out. The next fragrance that I'm going to share with you guys is from Pink, and this one is called Pink Berry. Now, they were practically giving this one away, so I picked it up. I didn't really need it, but it was so inexpensive that I decided that I'm not gonna miss out. So yeah, I think they still do have this one on clearance inside the Pink store. It has notes of sweet berries and pink sugar, and that's basically what it smells like. Very sweet, sugary berries. It's not as gourmand as they wanted to appear. You know, by putting pink sugar, you would think that it's like sweet and more gourmand, but it's more of a sweet, sugary berry scent, not so much gourmand. It's not bad. Now that I'm smelling it again, it's really not that bad. It's there's something refreshing and sweet about it. I'm going on a trip tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna wear this one just to see how I feel about it. Yeah. Okay guys, so that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this haul. Let me know how you feel about the fragrances that I purchased, and don't forget to like this video. It helps your girl out. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. We have more hauls to come, more fragrance videos to come. Keep it locked. I'm out of here. Bye.